much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Something custom can cosa baba cosa felina. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and
Hey there. Happy weekend. Happy Saturday morning. Welcome to Wanna Bet, where we're always grinding, always trying to find you guys the best value we can, and where we let you know what we feel strongest about, and hopefully you cash with us. It's just Ben and I today. It's going to be a little bit of a streamlined version of the show. We will cover what we love in the MLB. We will get a jump start, and trust me, these lines do move. So I hope you've been jumping on the early stuff we've been giving out in the NBA, because that's where the value is. We're going to get a jump start on Game 5 of the NBA. Ben's got a parlay, and that should have you set up for the weekend. I guess before we get into the bets, though, Ben, another really compelling basketball game last night, and one that I don't think everyone saw coming again, especially maybe the outcome at the end, but how we got there and the lineup changes that didn't really work, to the halftime adjustments, to OKC for the first time in a long time, not just this series, but all playoff long, OKC winning clutch minutes in the fourth quarter, which is something that they hadn't really done, right? They've been blowing people out of the water, and when they've lost some closer games. Them being able to take over the fourth quarter, and by them I mean SGA, because he was a one-man wrecking ball, to sort of restore order to where the betting markets thought this thing would be. And not a lot of people thought 2-2. Maybe they thought 3-1 OKC. But I really felt like we were on the precipice, Ben, of this series maybe being over.
Pascal Siakam headed to the free throw line to put them up 10, I believe.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, all right, it's finally done. I'm going to finally concede. This is the Pacers series. They're going to win it. It's done. And all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, we just see SGA chip and do what he's done for the regular season and at times in the playoffs. But in this series, he hadn't. And through this game, there were times where I'm like, is he just going to be the MVP that is fine with his team, being done? He was still coasting up the court. I could see him pointing out the other side in the first half, go somewhere else. I'm tired, whatever.
He looked tired.
He did.
And then he gets in foul trouble.
Yeah. It was concerning. I'm like, they need – and Jalen Williams played very well, stepped up again, and was good when they needed him. But in clutch time, SGA came to play. He was knocking down shots. He had a massive three, got to the free throw line like we've seen him do all year. And really, that changed everything in the game. Like I said, when they were down 10, I'm like, I don't see a path to victory, just given what we've seen, right? We have not seen them, as you mentioned. We haven't seen that from them. We have not seen them handle any adversity. They just haven't. The crowd's in it. Obi Toppin throws down a dunk and the building explodes. And I'm like, it's done. I don't see them doing it. And like you said, for the first time, we saw OKC finally fight back.
Very weird game. Yeah, if you want to put what we did, we did very well in this game, and we had another really good night. Ben, what really kind of struck me about this game was, okay, so SGA dominates the second half, but at halftime, we're saying he's got no assist and he's playing okay, but it kind of looked like Halliburton on the road to start this series, like a little out of sorts. They can't hit a three in the first half. They don't hit a three all night. The one guy who looked good shooting the three, Lou Dort, who I had there, he makes his first two shots, including a three, and then never shoots the ball the rest of the night. Hartenstein, we've both tried to figure his role out. I'm out on him now. I don't know. I'm out on him. He's a nothing burger for me moving forward. I love the rebounds at home early in the series. I'm out on him. Chet was holding his knee or holding his shin all night. It was Caruso and SGA. I don't even know offensively who else I could say played well for them, and they still came back down 10 and won the game in the fourth quarter.
You hit it right on. And with Hartenstein, like you said, I'm done with him. And you text me right when the starting lineup comes out, and I'm like, yeah, I beat it. He's going to have 10-plus points. He's going to kill it. And I got to give Dagnall his credit. When he was on the court early, they did not look good. He looked like a mismatch defensively. They couldn't play defense. He wasn't doing anything. And I didn't really understand. was the first time that I really questioned his lack of aggressiveness. And I always give him a lot of credit because he's not selfish and he wants to get guys involved and he knows the right pass. But there were times where I'm like, nobody's doing anything. Your team's not knocking down threes.
No,
Attack the basket and get to the free
they
throw
were
line. And
passive.
he just wouldn't do it. So it was weird. But like you said, like Chet rolls his ankle twice, battles back, plays through it. And we heard SGA, like, you could hear the TV showed it, like, look, get up. We need you.
Yeah.
We need you. You all right? But it was just that important of a game. And it was like, in terms of emotion and feel, they zoomed in on Tyrese Halliburton. He's like, sorry, we got to get it done on the road. But you could just feel like they knew they let it go. That
empty.
when we look back on this series, if it finishes the way I think it will, we're going to look at
This was
that
it.
game. We're going to look at them up 10 when they were in the second half, the crowd into it, Obi Toppin's done, all this stuff. SGA really not doing much, and we're going to say that's where they had it, and they let it slip. And again, I thought for sure, all right, here it goes. This was it. And just the fourth quarter from OKC was like the first halves at home, the third quarters we've seen all season. That was what that fourth quarter looked like. They were getting after it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Look, I'm really surprised that game did not go over. Through the first 12, 6, 18 minutes of that game, it looked like it was going to go over 250. And then they ran out of gas. I think collectively, the final 6 minutes of the first half that bled into the second half. The pace slowed, and OKC didn't. I mean, OKC put up whatever they put up, 1 and 10, without the 3-pointer being a factor at all. So it doesn't go over, but we've been pounding the first half and we crushed the first half again. All right, Beltway Ben, first down. What are you getting into today?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the WNBA here, and I'm going to go with Aaliyah Boston over 7.5 rebounds at -103. Now, she is under this in 5 straight games. So everybody's going to look at it and be like, wow. But that's since Caitlin Clark's been out. With Caitlin Clark playing, she's over in 3 of 4. She's averaged 10.8 rebounds in those games. Another play that I would suggest and I like is 10-plus boards at +240. She's playing against the Liberty team. They're allowing a ton of boards. And if you look at the games she did go under in with Caitlin Clark out, she played a lot less minutes in those. She hasn't played 30-plus since Clark's been out because majority of those games have been blowouts. And then the one non-blowout, she dealt with foul trouble. So we've seen just a different, minutes and different games in those. With Caitlin Clark back, this is like a 5.5-point spread. I think they're underdogs because they did take the Liberty down to the final possession. The last time they played them, Caitlin Clark shot a 3 at the buzzer that didn't go in. But this should be a tight game, 7.5 rebounds. And again, we're all going to look at the last 5 games and see her going under and say, why is this number so high? Caitlin Clark's back. She is more active on the glass when Clark plays. And again, averaged 10.8 rebounds when Caitlin Clark's played. She's had 10-plus in 3 of those games. So I like her to go over 7.5 rebounds, but I would also suggest playing 10-plus at +240.
Excellent. I'll have to check in with our friend Kate Constable and see what she thinks of that one. Kate, by the way, we had her on the show last week. If you're not checking her out, she's crushing the WNBA. You can check her out.
What, 3-0?
Yeah. What's that?
3-0 on here?
Oh, yeah. And she gave us some futures, so you can go check that out on YouTube. First down for me, Beltway Ben. I'm staying very local. Ben and I in Baltimore. I'm going down to Camden Yards, and I'm taking the Angels on the money line for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, the Angels have a lefty on the mound, Tyler Anderson. The Orioles are 4-15 against left-handed pitching. The Orioles have not been able to hit left-hand pitching for over a calendar year. So that's a problem. They faced Anderson out in Anaheim about a month ago. They couldn't get to him. 1 earned run and 5 strikeouts, a lot of soft contact. I almost feel like they at times do better against lefties with velo than they do junk balling lefties because they're a velo hitting team to begin with. They have off-speed pitches that well for a couple of years now, and this guy is much more finesse than power. There's no fastball to sit on, so that's a problem for them. Ben, they have a 550 OPS on the year, do the Baltimore Orioles against left-handed pitching. That is over 50 points lower than any other team in the league. It's 100 points lower than the league average. It's historically significant if they stay on this pace. They're bottom 3 in home runs and RBIs against left-handed pitching for the season, and their slug is around 250. Obviously, worst in Major League Baseball. Sagano's on the mound for the O's, and he's been good, But Beltway Ben, I will tell you, he's given up 7 home runs in 34 innings pitched at Camden Yards. And the ball's starting to travel. It's muggy. It's getting hotter here. And that's an A's team with a lot of power. And the Orioles just don't score runs. I mean, again, last night they faced a bad pitcher. Solo shot here, solo shot there. They don't hit. They're the worst team in the league with runners in scoring position. They don't string together wins in a row very often. I do think this Angels lineup is better than some people give it credit for. If you want to be a little more conservative and take those runs with the Angels and play it on the run line, the Orioles are 10-23 at home on the run line. That's worse than Major League Baseball. But I think the Halos can find a way to win that thing today. So that's where I am. All right, second down. Beltway Ben, you do the honors.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to that game. And it's funny, you just talked about how bad the Orioles have been against lefties. And
that's a lefty.
It is a lefty, and there wasn't a word that you said that was wrong there. But when you look at Tyler Anderson, and again, in no means am I saying this Orioles lineup is going to go out and put a bunch of runs up against him. However, Jackson Holiday is due. He's under this in 2 straight. Tyler Anderson, lefties are slashing 280, 353, 587 against him. Mansolino has been very outspoken that Jackson Holiday is going to face lefties. He's going to face righties. He's going to be in the lineup every day. Will he lead off? I'm not sure, but it's felt like this organization as a whole, with Brandon Hyde as the manager. I don't know if it's coming from Hyde, if it's coming from Elias, where it is. They don't look really at pitching splits. If it's lefty-righty, all right, we got to put a righty in the leadoff spot. Should that be the case today? No, because Tyler Anderson has gotten hit pretty hard by lefties for 2 years now. But again, the Orioles just don't fully look into things, of course. But if he is hitting leadoff, we will get the maximum number of at-bats. Holiday's had a lot of confidence, like I said, with the manager putting confidence in him. And then you look at this slash line, 304, 333, 527 at Camden Yards compared to 221, 291, 328 on the road. Holiday's been a much better hitter at home here. And you talk about it on the radio station all the time. He's like their number 1 or number 2 run, like driving in runs, 27 RBIs, tied for second on the team with Ryan O'Hearn. Mullins is number 1. Mullins has hit a ton of home runs. But Holiday is one of the guys that is producing. And if Mansolino wants to do the lefty right thing without looking at actual player splits, that's fine. If you put him at 5 or 6, he has to get an RBI opportunity. Will they come through? They haven't all year, but I do like Jackson Holiday in this spot against the lefty, which struggles a little bit more against lefties, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
I liked his ABs against Skubal, though. He looked against that caliber lefty, which they haven't let him do very often. He looked stuck in. He looked like he had a plan and approach. He was trying to go opposite field. He made contact. So, look, I am by no means inferring that Anderson is unhittable, but he does I look at it. I want to fade him all the time because I look at his StatCast page and I watch him pitch and I'm like, how does he continue to put his team in positions to win? But he does.
And you also mentioned it real quick. Sorry. You also mentioned
go
it.
ahead.
Like, this is the prototypical Orioles killer. Like if you could come up with somebody that dominates the Orioles and will just kill them, it's literally Tyler Anderson's prototype.
So we'll see. Hopefully we didn't jinx it. Second down, I'm going to stay in MLB, Beltway Ben. Going over in this Yankee-Sox game. Now, last night was a pitcher's duel, but that was crochet. If you watched any of this series last weekend in the Bronx, it was a bloodbath for both teams' rotations. So we got Dobbins on the bump for the Sox. He went 5 innings against the Yanks last week. Gave up 3 earned runs. Could have been more. Gave up 2 home runs in the Bronx. They saw him pretty good. We've been waiting for Rodon to come back to earth, haven't we? He would pitch like a Cy Young the first 2, 6, 7 weeks of the season. He has come back to earth. He faced the Red Sox last weekend. He gave up 5 earned and 2 home runs in 5 innings pitched. The Yankees are over in 8 of their last 13 games. The Sox are over in 5 of their last 8. If you really drill down on this, Beltway Ben, so Yankees on the road against right-handed pitching, and this is very mediocre right-handed pitching today with Dobbins. They lead the majors with an 841 OPS. They're slugging 476 off right-handed pitching on the road. That gets my attention. How about the Red Sox at home against lefties? 806 OPS, 5th in Major League Baseball. 278, 357, 450 slash line against left-handed pitching at home. We've seen these games, right, that go 5.5 hours and it's 15-13 and it's a slow pitch softball game. I don't know if we get there, but I'm a little surprised this number isn't higher. I guess it's a lot of respect for Rodon, but I think this lineup just saw him. I mean, I'm sure he'll make some adjustments, but I also think this could end up being a bit of a bullpen game. We know the Red Sox bullpen stinks, and the Yankees are down a key arm in their bullpen right now, and Boone does not seem to have the best feel in the world for mixing and matching. So I'm going to go over there. All right, third down, Benny. What you got?
Yeah, I'm going to stick in the MLB, and we've talked about it. Like, there's somebody we like to pick on, and it's Trevor Williams. But I'm going to go with Xavier Edwards over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -150. And when I was going through plays all night last night and just looking at things, like, this is a guy that I could not get out of a top play. Like, I just very, very high on him in this matchup. 6 for 7 against Williams in his career. And lefties are hitting .362 against Williams. And it's not improving. It's not like the first week he gave up 7 earned runs and he's slowly getting better. It's awful outings every time. And against right-handed pitching, Xavier Edwards is hitting .309. He's the stolen base threat, leadoff hitter, so we know we're going to get the maximum at bats. Marlins lineup, not amazing, but he's going to get on first with a base hit, take second and be in scoring position. We need somebody to drive him in. They do have some pop. Sanchez hits Williams pretty hard. Wouldn't surprise me to see him drive Xavier Edwards in. But again, just with this matchup, even with them on the road, he's going to get 9 innings to hit. Should get around 4 to 5 at-bats. I think he has a single at some point, takes second, gets in scoring position quickly, and scores a run. So I like him over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Now, you mentioned it, and I'm looking it up here. I'm on StatCast. I'm looking at pitcher runs prevented, because as soon as you put this up, I start thinking Ruiz is very hit or miss behind the plate.
Yeah.
This guy runs like crazy. The Marlins like to run, especially activating people like this. And I'm scrolling through here trying to find Trevor Williams. He can't be great because I'm now into the 130s in terms of pitcher net bases prevented, and I don't see him yet. Let me see if I could search through team. This might not be the greatest TV in the world, but I do think a tangent bet I might make off of this, now that you put me on this, is
stolen base. Yeah, he's plus 260, I think.
Is stolen base. Yeah, they won't let me search by team here. Well, I can tell you this. Trevor Williams is definitely not a standout. Holding runners on. Yeah, I mean, it's not a specialty for him. And I don't really fancy either of their catchers in this regard. Yeah. So, yeah, that might be something else to look into. My third down, I'm going back to the NBA. I like to get on some of this stuff early. So this line, right after the game, I saw it in a couple places at 9. It quickly moved to 9.5. I'm sure it's going to get over 10 by the time we get to tip-off. You're not paying – and if you go to the regular markets, it's 5.5. So it is juiced a little bit to the first half, but not as much as we saw it get. Right, the last game in OKC went off at like 11.5, -8 in the first half. Turns out OKC still covered that with no problem. I played this down to 4.5 at FanDuel. I'm paying obviously a little bit of juice there, but still it's under 150, so I'm comfortable with that. Do I think they cover the 5.5? I do, but I just despise losing, you know what I mean, bets that way where, hey, I could have paid a little bit and gotten it under 5, and then they end up, coming in right at 5, and I'm sitting there at 5.5, and I lose. In case you forgot, this is the halftime margin through 11 playoff games at home for OKC. +18, +12, +23, +33, +14, -2. Joker gets everybody. +31, +8, +18, +32. They have not, except for one occasion, failed to win a first half by at least 8 points. The numbers are staggering. They have a +31.1 net rating at home in the first half through 11 playoff games, a not insignificant sample size. Like, that's twice as good, more than twice as good as any other team in the league. They have the same offensive rating at home first half in the playoffs as Indiana. The difference is this is where the stranglehold defense comes in. Okay, this is where, with that crowd, they turn you over, they steal possessions, they get the easy layups in transition. 89.8 defensive rating at home in the first half in the playoffs. That's ridiculous. The next closest team was Minnesota at 103. Like, It's otherworldly. The average halftime score in the playoffs, Ben, of OKC Thunder games at home, 62 to 46.5. That's through 11 games. And does Indiana struggle on the road in the first half? Damn right they do. Minus 8.3 net rating first half on the road. That's opposed to plus 16 at home. That's a massive difference. They don't turn it over at all first half at home. 1.5 assist to turnover. It doubles on the road. And again, that's where OKC's backcourt really sinks its teeth in. If you just want to go old school, plus minus, OKC is a plus 15.5 point differential. First half at home through 11 playoff games. Indiana, first half on the road, plus minus 3.9. We saw how they held Halliburton in check at home. Do I think they're going to stifle him and dominate him like that? I don't know about that. Are they going to hold Indiana below 45 points in the first half again? Probably not. I think Indiana might get to 50, but I think OKC gets north of 60. But just to be safe, I took it a little bit down from 5.5 to 4.5. And that's the first play I made on the finals. Ben, you have a parlay in overtime here to take us home?
Yes, I do. And I also do want to say real quick, Jason opened my eyes to OKC first half. I mean, he's put a lot of money in my pocket with what he's been giving out with them. And then he goes Pacers yesterday. So it's not like he's just riding OKC. Put money in my pocket with how he's done that. And it stands out. Like if you look at it, he explained the numbers. You also can go back and watch those streams on our YouTube. Want to bet with us / or youtube.com// want to bet with us. You can rewatch all those videos. But I will go with a parlay here. And I have MLB and WNBA in it. Xavier Edwards base hit. Bobby Witt Jr. base hit. Aaliyah Boston, 6+ rebounds. Rakia Jackson, 10+ points. And Gabby Williams, 2+ made threes. If you missed that, we'll say one more time. It's MLB and WNBA. Xavier Edwards of the Marlins for a base hit. Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals for a base hit. Aaliyah Boston, 6+ rebounds. Rakia Jackson of the Sparks, 10+ points. And Gabby Williams of the Storm, 2+ made threes at plus 350. Again, 2 MLB plays in it, 3 WNBA plays. I was talking to Jason a little bit about it off the air. I play a lot of smaller parlays. A lot of people want the big home runs, the plus 1,000s, all that. But you'll see throughout time, like I play some smaller ones because I think you can chip away with those. So I do like that parlay there.
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up before I get out to a doubleheader today that my son can't even play with because he's got a sprained knee. But we're gonna go support the boys at Marucci anyway.
Absolutely,
because that's what we do. That's what the teammates do. But thank goodness he'll be okay for the Myrtle Beach tournament. I think I might add a little Xavier Edwards stolen base to that Angels money line. That would be a nice little payoff. But again, it's 2 legs. I'm not getting crazy greedy.
right.
So that's something that I'm going to go play. And thank you for putting me on that, Beltway Ben. I'm not sure. I'm going to the O's game tomorrow. So it's Father's Day. We'll talk. I mean, if we've got some baseball bets we like, we'll figure it out. We might do one of these in the morning. We will absolutely be back on Monday with Eric Casillas, who is like 7-1 with us with a no, more than that. He's been on 3 times, right?
He's and he's still
9-2 with us with 1 Conn Smythe bet outstanding. We'll see if Connor McDavid can bring that home for us. He'll be with us on Monday as always. We'll have the rest of the bets we like for the NBA Finals there as well, and a great week of shows planned for you guys at Wanna Bet. Tuesday we'll look at Eagles and Phillies a little bit. Devin Caney, who I used to do some gambling shows with, who still does a lot of stuff at BetMGM, but she also does sidelines for the Phillies and the Eagles. So we'll talk about those markets for those teams a little bit with her on Tuesday, and we'll have you covered all week long. We thank you guys, as always, for tuning in to Wanna Bet, and we will see you back soon. Again, if you haven't subscribed on the YouTube, you can get everything in real time there. So
and extra content.
And extra content and exclusive stuff there. So youtube.com, because of course that's the YouTube website, and then a / because of course there's a /
Right.
And then just at Wanna Bet with us, which is our Twitter handle, and TikTok and Instagram at Wanna Bet with us. It's easy. We appreciate those who have done it. Thank you to all the TK Littles if you're watching. And we'll see you guys soon again on Wanna Bet.